Can everyone hear me? Hello, hello,
Yes, we
testing
hear
three.
you, Mr. Hill.
Hi, how you doing?
Not good.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, I have a wonderful sanitation concern.
All right. Well, looks like we've got sanitation with us today. Is that correct? That's what I was told. Looks like Mr. Caruso was here.
Yes, I know Mr. Caruso very well.
Hello, Mrs. Quashi. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Hey, Mr. Caruso, I very much appreciate you attending our meeting tonight. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
All right. Well, Miss Quashi, please let's get this ball rolling. Wait. So the meeting has now begun. Um, Miss Quashi, please, 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 please do.
Oh, geez. Okay, let me start. I went on vacation and had a nice time on my vacation. And I happened to check my cameras. You all know I have cameras, I have 12 of them. And I was getting the sidewalks done, which they were putting those nice little bumps on the sidewalks. As you all know, I have a corner property. And around quarter to midnight, someone decides to dump, and I mean literally dump, a shopping cart full of garbage on my property. And I was not very happy about that. They came around the corner from Troy Avenue with a shopping cart with a big giant bag of, I don't know what was in it, but it had a black plastic bag filled with three boxes with, I don't know what was in it, and a giant black bag. And that was dumped on my property near the pole where I put my garbage. And I packed my garbage, and my tenants packed their garbage very neatly in nice bags. And this bag of garbage spilled all over the ground. Now, if I wasn't diligent on watching the cameras on my vacation, I would have got a ticket. And I had to raise a 311 ticket to say that someone dumped and put, this happened on Tuesday night, matter of fact, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. And you know, recycle doesn't occur in my neighborhood until Saturday. So these are boxes and bags of something, unknown substances that I have no idea what's going on, what was in it. But that would have been a nice hefty ticket for a homeowner. That's unfair. And once we start with, on November 12th, with the trash cans, I don't know what property owners are going to do, because with the illegal dumping going on in the community on areas that are commercial, we're not doing anything about that in the neighborhood. And so what are we going to do? My question is, what is sanitation doing about surveilling the dumping areas? We don't do a great job with surveilling the public areas. So what are we going to do about the private areas? I don't appreciate having to do 24 hours surveillance on my own property. And our neighborhood is getting filthier and filthier. And no one is giving out tickets. And I think with the supervisors riding around in the neighborhood, I think we need to do a little bit more due diligence, in my opinion, at night to see who's dumping in our community. And we have cameras. I think we have cameras in some of these high dumping areas, like on Avenue H, over there by the car wash, over there on Utica Avenue. But the only thing I see is we clean it up and it gets dirty again. So that's my question out to Mr. Caruso, who I know so well. And I do see the squad, the little cars driving around, but I don't see anything getting better. So I throw it out to the floor. And if you like the video of the gentleman, I can send that to you.
Okay. Um, so Mrs. Kwashi, I'm happy to get into your particular concerns. I do want to mention that I am here not only to hear the concerns of the community tonight, but also to make a couple announcements as far as new initiatives. So I leave it to the community board to let me know, do we want to speak on individual concerns and then finish up with the new initiatives, or do you want me to speak about the new initiatives and then jump into the individual concerns?
Speak on the
Um,
new initiatives first, please.
okay. All right. So as Mrs. Kwashi had touched on, beginning on November 12th, we are going to be requiring all residents in 1 to 9 unit buildings, as well as any special use buildings, schools, houses of worship, to begin containerizing their trash. Um, By that, I mean that what you need is a container of 55 gallons or less with a tight fitting lid. All right. Come June of 2026, that's when you're going to be required to have the official New York City bin. But as of right now, this November, all trash needs to go into a container. Now, if you so choose to put your recyclables out in bags, you could still do that. But keep in mind, bags cannot go out until after 8 o'clock. All right. These containers are going to be allowed to be put out as early as 6. We made that rule a little bit earlier in the year. Containers could go out at 6. Bags can go out after 8. So if you so choose to put your recyclables out in clear bags, it can't be until after 8 o'clock.
And this is
Okay.
obviously PM you're referring to.
PM. That's correct. Yes. All right. As I had mentioned, June 2026, that's when we're going to be rolling out with the official New York City bin requirement. And as you may notice from, if any of you have purchased the bin already, you'll notice that it has almost like a bar on it and a latch on the lid. That's because we're moving towards mechanized collection of these bins. So you're going to see tippers on the back of our trucks, and essentially what it's going to do is it's going to grab the can and then dump it into the hopper. And the reason for this is because it's ultimately going to lead to less spillage on the street, more efficient collection, and of course, more efficient collection and less litter on the street just means cleaner communities for everybody. Um, so that's the plan. Of course, there is going to be an enforcement aspect of this. Um, so beginning in January, we're going to start with enforcement for those which aren't complying with the bin mandate. All right. Now, does anybody have any questions about that?
Um, I I definitely have some thoughts about it, but I'm going to reserve my thoughts, and anyone else can, obviously say whatever they'd like to say. I'm going to wait until after you're finished with whatever other initiatives you have, but anyone else is free to ask questions.
Good evening, this is Hazel Martinez. Um, I would like a couple of questions I have. One in particular is the treatment of our garbage cans that we are forced to purchase because in other cities they did not have to purchase but these sanitation cans. And since we have to purchase them, are your workers going to be treating them in the same way they currently treat our trash cans, where they're thrown into the street? And and get damaged or broken, is there going to be who's going to replace them?
All right, so all sanitation workers are expected to work professionally. I'm going to say that the cans might not always end up exactly where you had placed them. We're out there, we're moving, we're trying to get through the routes, and we're looking out for pedestrians and bicycles and mopeds and cars and work as safely and efficiently as we can. So, with that being said, they shouldn't be damaging the cans. If you feel as though a can was damaged during collection, and you can prove that, you could send the evidence into us. We'll review it, and if we find that the damage was at fault from a sanitation worker, then at that point we would take it from there. Um, but generally speaking, we don't necessarily have a known issue with sanitation workers damaging or breaking people's cans. And you had mentioned other cities, and I'm glad that you brought this up. So we do have cans available in multiple sizes. They're going to be roughly $50 each for the official New York City bin. The 35 gallon, I believe, is a little bit less than 50, all in with the fees. The 45 gallon, which is the one that's a little bit bigger, that's going to be a little bit more than $50. Um, but again, other cities, many times they pay for their collection service, whereas here, um,
Mm.
we receive it, of course, the taxpayers, it's included in our taxes. So um, that could be one of the reasons why we're going to end up having to purchase these bins. But the city worked with a vendor to ensure that they were priced significantly less than similar bins that you would buy at a retail store. And again, $50 each compared to what you might pay in one of the larger big box stores is a fair price.
I'm sorry, Mr. Caruso. If you could just reiterate, you said that you mentioned taxes and still the cost for the bins being reasonable. Why
They're
aren't
not
the
reasonable.
included with the taxes that we pay? Why do we have to pay for additional services? Can you explain that?
Again, so you're not paying for the additional service. You're just paying for the bin. You're going to purchase the bin. It's yours. You own it. I'm just going off of what Mrs. Martinez had mentioned about other cities. Other cities actually have to pay for the service to have their
Mhm.
trash collected.
Mm-mm. No. And the other question I have is there any way to order it other than online?
I could give you the phone number to call to place the order if you'd like.
No, I don't
Happy to
need
give
it.
it to you.
I'm asking because we have a lot of people that don't use computers or don't have online access, and they're going to be, especially some, very advanced seniors who own homes, and they are going to be forced to obtain these cans. And I wanted to find out how is that going to work. Oh, and I've also come across people who say they can't afford to buy the can.
Yep, so there is a phone number that you could call. You don't just have to order it online. You could call to place the order. So that is
Oh,
absolutely an option. If someone would rather do that rather than go online and order it, they can do that. As of right
okay.
now, there's no subsidy, so everyone will be purchasing the bins.
Mr. Caruso, I'm sorry. I just wanted to have a follow-up question to the bins and the purchases and all that.
Mhm.
So sanitation has decided that they are going to implement this new way to, get dispose of the trash, and these bins need to be specialized to be able to attach to the truck, which is why we need them, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. So with that said, if it
Mhm.
is due to sanitation deciding to implement this new way to dispose of the trash, how is it that city expects the residents to pay for this this new type of trash can, but we wouldn't be expected to, let's say, pay for the modification that needs to go to the garbage truck? You see, my point is that I don't believe that the city would expect the residents to pay for a modification to the garbage truck, because that's something that sanitation needs in order to do their job. But the garbage can is also an extension of that modification. So why is it that the residents have to pay for anything regarding this service?
Um, I understand the point that you're making. I think the only difference is that the trucks belong to the department and the city, whereas the cans, those are going to be your cans. Once you purchase them, they belong to you.
Yeah, I get that, but no one, we didn't ask for these cans. Just like we didn't ask for this service. I mean, wouldn't it be reasonable to say that if sanitation, even though they're
Mhm.
working hard to avoid, traffic and pedestrians and all that stuff, and they're trying to work quickly, um, wouldn't it be simple to say that if they were able to get the garbage bags into the garbage truck without creating litter, that we wouldn't need the service? So what it comes across to me is sanitation isn't able to properly perform their function without creating another issue, and it's now up to the residents to pay for that.
Well, I think there are many reasons why we're going in the direction of containerized collection, and it's absolutely a step in the right direction because when you have bags on the street, I mean they're unsightly, the trash smells, and also it leads to an issue with rats and rodents, right? Because being that the trash is in bags, it's easy for the rats and rodents to get inside. They tear the bags open, and then ultimately leading to a buffet for them and a mess for us. So with containerized collection, and again with a tight-fitting lid, and specifically the official New York City bin, it makes it difficult for the rats to get inside. And if they don't have easy access to the food, there's really no reason for them to stick around, and ultimately, again, leading to cleaner streets.
Understand, and I'm not disputing the benefit to having the garbage cans. I don't dispute that. I also don't dispute, let's say, for example, sanitation trucks. From what I know, they don't have a gauge that lets them know that there's no water left when they're cleaning the streets for the street sweepers. There's no gauge there. They have to just basically, I don't know, guess that they've used enough water. So if sanitation decided to do the right thing, which would be to put a gauge in all the sanitation trucks, which would be helpful. You could sit there and list all the reasons why that would be great for the community. Would it then be up to the residents to pay for that? The answer would obviously be no. So why, if sanitation is implementing a different form of some service in order to address issues for the community, that the residents have to participate in paying for that? That just doesn't make sense. I understand the need for it, and it should be done, just like there should be a gauge for the trucks. But why do the residents have to pay for this?
Mr. Hill, I will absolutely take your concerns back. We report directly to the commissioner's office, so in addition to coming out and explaining all the rules pertaining to the new mandates that are taking effect, we're also coming back with all the feedback as well. So again, I've given you the reasons why. My main concern right now is just making sure that everybody understands the rules so that everyone could be in compliance. But again, very happy to take that back and make it known that the community board is unhappy with the decision.
Thank you. And also that whole thing about the water gauges being installed into these street sweepers so we can have water consistently when the street sweepers are going through the community, that is a big thing that should already be there. It should have always been there. It's just like having a gas gauge in these trucks. It's the primary function of these street sweepers, and there should be something done about that. So if you could also take that back, that'd be appreciated.
Absolutely will do.
Okay, thank you. Miss Mkwashi, I see you have a hand up.
Yes. I think it's only the trucks in Garage 17 that doesn't have water in their trucks. So if you could look at Garage 17's trucks, because that's near and dear to our hearts in this community, and look at their trucks, because there's no water in them ever. They just spew out dust. That's number one. And two, piping on Mr. Hill's comment about paying for the garbage cans. Florida doesn't pay state taxes, as far as I know. And I don't think North Carolina does. And they got free garbage cans. So I don't believe the statement about they pay in their city taxes or whatever they do. They don't pay taxes. That's one of the reasons why they moved down there. They don't pay taxes. So, and I know Staten Island is complaining about the fact that other states, I read it in the Staten Island Advance paper, they also asked the same question to sanitation. Why are other states not paying for their garbage cans? Why are they not paying for their garbage cans? And we had to. New Yorkers are always paying beyond the reason, beyond and above and above for everything. And we want to know why. And the fact that the explanation you gave us, it just doesn't pan out to us reasonably. And those are my 2 points. Thank you.
Hi, Ms. Martinez. Ms. Quash, if you could just lower that hand, please.
Sure, I
Ms.
will.
Martinez. Okay, thank you.
I think somebody else had a hand up before me. Miss Vivian Venu.
Yes, sorry, I didn't see that. Yes, you can go ahead.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Mr. Caruso, you mentioned a few dates, starting November 12th and June 26th and sometime in January. Could you go over those dates for me and what they mean, please?
Yes, more than happy to do that. Okay, so beginning on November 12th of this year, that's when the bin requirement for residential buildings 1 to 9 units goes into effect. All right. You
Okay.
could use any bin of 55 gallons or less with a tight fitting lid. And then come June 2026, that's when you will be required to use the official New York City bin.
Oh, June, okay. June 2026
Yes, that's when you would be required to use the official New York City bin.
required. Okay.
Uh-huh. And I did say that beginning in January, we would start the enforcement aspect of the bin requirement.
What year?
So it'll be January 2025.
Okay.
Hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Martinez, you wanted to say something?
Oh, Um, the other thing is, I really have, there seems to be a problem in this community with alternate side street sweeping. There, to the point where even when there are no vehicles, there's still, it's sporadic if it happens at all. And keeping the street where homeowners are given some violations and summonses for dirty sidewalks, it's almost an impossible task. And then in addition, their streets don't get swept, or whenever sometimes the sweeper is going up and down the street, in the middle of the street, not even in the curb, or whatever they sweep up in the curb. If they do, it's on the sidewalk, or there is night cleaning on Avenue D by Harry May's Playground and on East 57th Street between Clarendon Road and Avenue D. And that almost never happens, to the point where no one moves a vehicle. And yet in the morning around 7:30, you will see a street sweeper going round and round and round about 50 times round the entire, even the blocks where there is no alternate side cleaning, but he's in the middle of the street. I don't know if he's practicing or what, but I've made calls about this. Someone wants to get back to me. I've never heard another word.
Okay. As far as the alternate site parking non-compliance, if you could provide specific streets where you're seeing the non-compliance that you're requesting the enforcement, and if the community board is requesting the enforcement, then I can make sure that we divert some of our resources out there to take a look.
There,
Um,
there's no, oh, sorry. I can.
no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah,
Oh,
if you want to give them to me now, I'll take them down.
Farragut
there's
Road,
street sweeping on East 50s East on East 57th Street between Clarendon Road and Avenue D, and on Avenue D between East 56th and East 57th. And there's also, that is night sweeping. And then there is Clarendon Road between Kings Highway and Ralph Avenue on both sides. That is from 11 to 12:30. One side is Monday and Thursday, and the other side is Tuesday and Friday. And that very rarely occurs, or there's no enforcement.
Clarendon Road, Kings Highway to. Can you say that one more time? I'm
Ralph
sorry.
to
To
Ralph
Ralph.
Avenue.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Okay.
and that's also Farragut Road from East 45th all the way down past Albany. He's late, I would say 3 out of the 4 times a month.
Okay.
He comes after 10 o'clock.
Okay.
I got tired of writing 311 tickets. I have a life.
I understand. All right, I'll take a look at that. You have a new superintendent in the district. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
Again? No.
Yes, and he's excellent. Kelson Johnson. I've worked together with him in the past, and I can't say enough great things about him. I'm sure you're going to be very, very happy with him. Easy to
Oh,
communicate with, on the ball all the time, and I'm sure he'll be more than happy to establish a working relationship with the community board, and I'm excited to introduce you to him.
Do you have
So
his contact information?
so we never recommend that you call the district directly. What I would like to do is maybe connect you with him through email. And then I always ask that if you're going to contact the district, if you could just copy myself and community affairs on the message also. This way we're all in the loop.
When was this introduction going to happen?
I just felt that as soon as you have contact with someone at DSNY, all of a sudden they're not there, they're not there anymore. So it's a very short duration.
Well, that happens. People get promoted, they get reassigned, they transfer, they retire. So that there is some movement, especially with district superintendents. But again, more than happy to create an introduction with the new superintendent of your community board.
Right, and when would that happen?
I mean, I could do it as early as tomorrow. I can create an introduction via email, and then he's to be at your district service cabinet meeting, so you'll see him on a regular basis.
Oh, good. So, we have our next general board meeting the third Wednesday of November. Will he be there?
No, so district superintendents work the dayline, so he starts work at 5 a.m. They don't attend the night meetings, but he will attend the district service cabinet meetings during the day. All right. Okay.
I'm sorry.
All
Looks
right.
like we have a hand up. Ms. McCain Brown.
Yes, thanks for acknowledging.
Sure.
My question goes back to Mr. Caruso regarding what was
Mhm.
asked before, where you said June 26th, the official bins will be required, but enforcement begins January 2025. I needed some clarification. When you say enforcement, will they be giving you a summons, a letter telling you you haven't done it? How would that happen beginning 2025 and then the official bins required 2026?
Yep, so beginning in January 2025, you can receive a violation for not following the bin mandate. So if you were to have your trash out in bags and not in a container, you could receive a violation for that beginning in January.
Okay, so basically, what you're saying, really, from my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, is although official bins are required June 2026, by January 2025, you ought to have official bins because enforcement will begin and you can be fined. Am I reading you correctly?
No, so beginning November 12th of this year,
Mm-hmm.
you're required to use a container of 55 gallons or less with a tight-fitting lid. Okay, enforcement will begin January 2025, but you don't need the official New York City bin until June 2026.
So you can
So as of right now,
continue.
all you need is a bin for your trash, 55 gallons or less with a tight-fitting lid, beginning November 12th.
So you can use your old bin. Once you have that standard size bin, you can continue to use that until June of 2026.
That's correct. As
Okay.
long as it's 55 gallons or less with a tight-fitting
Okay.
lid, yes.
Okay, I got you now. Okay, thanks.
Yep. You're welcome.
All right, Ms. Brown, if you could just thank you very much.
Okay, there also was some.
Mr. Caruso, could you continue?
Yes, there was also something else that I wanted to mention. I'm just going to say this now too because my computer is saying that it needs to restart. In the event that I'm trying to snooze it, but if it shuts down on me, just please give me a few minutes to log back in. I didn't want it to just cut me off and you guys think that I'm taking off on you. I'm not. Okay, so the other initiative that I wanted to mention was that beginning December 19th of this year, there's going to be an increase in fines for commercial fines for repeat offenders. All right, this is not This does not affect residential violations. These are only commercial violations and only for repeat offenders. All right, so the fines are going to increase for the second, third, and subsequent offenses. As of right now, the fines are $100 for the second and subsequent. Moving forward, it's going to be $300 for the second and then $500 for the third and subsequent. All right, and that's going to be within a rolling year. So if you got your first violation today is going to start your rolling year.
Oh, okay. That sounds good. Okay.
Mhm.
And in terms of enforcing this, I feel like the community has seen a lot of neglect when it comes to addressing these issues, generally speaking. Is there going to be something more significant or more attention on these areas, or these issues?
In commercial strips, you're saying? Yep. So, being that we're a data-driven city, just to backtrack just for a minute until I get into that, this is only related to cleaning violations. All right. So this is only like dirty sidewalk, dirty area, not cleaning 18 inches out into the street. So this is specific to the cleaning violations. And now what I was going to say is we're a data-driven city. So if we find that we have an abundance of 311 requests in a particular area, we're going to go out there and we're going to investigate. If we don't know that there's an issue, then how could we write a ticket or resolve the problem? So if there are specific areas of concern, maybe some bad actors in the neighborhood, businesses that aren't doing their part, by all means, please report it to 311. This way that we know we have an issue, and we'll be more than happy to go on out there and pay that particular business a visit.
Okay, to that point, we
Hmm.
have some board members currently on right now that have definitely
Hmm.
submitted tickets to 311 and have not gotten any responses to these types of issues. It's been a frequent issue. It's been a long-lasting issue. And when I've spoken to sanitation in the past about these things, I've been told something to the effect that due to staffing issues, Bay Sanitation has not been able to really be everywhere that it needs to be when it needs to be because they don't have enough manpower. Do you have anything to say to that?
Well, what I would say to that is, if if you place a 311 complaint, we are going to respond to it. We have a certain amount of time to respond to the complaint and close it out. As far as not having adequate staffing, I'm not sure who may have mentioned that. Um, I'm not aware of that, but I will say that the back of the department is cleaning and collection. That's our main focus, right? We want to pick up the trash, get it off the street as quickly as we can. We want to make sure that we have clean streets, and we're obligated to that, right? And everybody wants to live and work and clean in a clean, safe neighborhood. But I'm again not sure who you spoke to that said that we don't have adequate staffing. We do have an enforcement division. We have an entire sanitation police unit. We do have an enforcement unit. Um, Main focus is cleaning and collection, but we are out there and we are issuing violations and we are catching illegal dumpers and people that are improperly disposing. So if you have a particular area that you'd like us to allocate some resources, you could let me know right now. We could follow up offline. You're a community board, so we have an open line of communication. Only thing that I ask is if you're going to be communicating with anyone else from the department, if you could just copy myself on those messages, so at least I can follow up internally.
All right, thank you. Ms. Quashi?
Yes, I hear you loud and clear, Mr. Caruso. And I have written several tickets on Dollar General. And I get the response, they're giving them an education. How long is going to take them to get an education on how to sweep and clean up their area? They
What's
are,
the
and
address?
they're on the corner of East 42nd and Farragut Road. That little strip mall over there, right down where Pathmark is. You can't walk over there. It stinks and it's nasty. And they are the biggest offenders on Farragut Road. And they love to give them an education. They have flunk class.
Okay, so we're gonna go on out there. We'll take a look at the Dollar General, corner of East 42nd and Farragut. And for a business like this that is not doing the right thing and not being a good member of the community, this increase in fines, this is the reason why there's going to be an increase in fines, because for some businesses it's just the cost of doing business right now. They pay the $50 ticket or the $100 ticket, and then
They
they
don't get a ticket. They get the little slap on the wrist. They're getting an education.
I'm gonna look into that, because I'm not if you have the service request numbers, I'll take a look at them. But if we're out there on a regular basis and just educating and not issuing a violation, there's something strange about that.
Yeah, I wonder.
I know that you're on top of your game, Ms. Quashi, so if you could send me the service request numbers, that would
Okay,
be
I'll
great.
look up
I'd
my
appreciate
numbers
that.
and because
I I know you've got them somewhere.
yes, I have 311 tickets. Absolutely.
Mr. Caruso, I just wanted to give you the individual's name that I spoke to and heard that issue about a lack of manpower was Jason Chen. I think he was from the Community Affairs Division.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Mhm.
Ms. Martinez?
Okay, I have these other locations for you. Um, Utica Avenue, between Church Avenue and Tilden Avenue.
Mhm.
I mean, alternate side sweeping is virtually non-existent there. It is very dirty. There are cars all over the sidewalk. There's food from the Chinese restaurant all over the sidewalk. And it's very rarely it's clean. There's New York Avenue between Glenwood and Farragut, and the usual spot of Farragut Road between Utica and Kings Highway. That is an eyesore that I see you have cameras up there, but no one's obviously looking at them because the dumping continues, no matter what time of day it is.
Okay, so I
And
just
the other
want
thing I want to,
I'm sorry.
go ahead,
I'm sorry, no, I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Go ahead.
What'd you
One
say?
well, one thing, yeah,
Excuse me?
one thing I just wanted to clarify with illegal dumping surveillance cameras. So there's a difference between illegal dumping and improper disposal. Illegal dumping means that the material is coming out of a vehicle, whereas improper disposal is maybe somebody just walking their household or commercial trash over to a corner and leaving it somewhere. So the cameras are meant to catch illegal dumpers specifically. We could
Mhm.
use the cameras to prosecute illegal dumpers but unfortunately we can't use those cameras for those that are improperly disposing. When it comes to improper disposal, we have to actually observe it. An officer has to observe it. They have to stop that person. They have to get their ID, and then they're going to issue them a personal violation. So if it's improper disposal that is happening at these locations and not necessarily illegal dumping, that might be the reason
It's both.
why. Um, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's both.
Hmm.
Both
But
things. And the other, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, if there are cameras at that location, I don't know that I'd be able to share the information publicly. But if there are cameras there, I'm going to say as a general statement, they are very effective. So we may not necessarily be advertising that we are catching people, but the cameras work. And not only are they just cameras, they have license plate readers in them as well. So,
Right. Mhm.
um, yep.
And the other thing that I want to ask about, what is your role in the all the cooking that goes on the street where there's grease all over and rats to eat that in the daytime? Is that something that's in sanitation's purview or not?
So if it's illegal vending, yes, we are responsible for illegal vending. You could place a 311 complaint, and then we'll go on out there and we'll take a look. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to the illegal vending. I'm not an expert with it, so I really don't want to get into it because I'm not going to be able to answer all your questions here tonight. Um, but if you send the locations, if the community board sends the locations, we could go on out there and we could take a look. And I'm actually going to try and log in from my phone because my computer's saying that it's going to restart. So if you don't mind, just bear with me. I'm sorry about this.
So how you guys feeling about the meeting?
So far, so good.
All right, step in the right direction.
Oh, absolutely. This is what we used to do all the time back in the day.
Well, hopefully this will be a regular occurrence, just like before.
DEP next.
All right.
Yeah. At that
Michael,
level.
are you gonna allow us, Michael, are you gonna give us a few minutes at the end if anybody has anything to say?
Sure, of
Any comments?
course,
Okay, okay, thank
I
you.
get you.
no problem. And you want to direct these comments to Mr. Caruso, or is it just generally for us?
This is for sanitation. I'm not sure if you saw my email. This is Jazeera Smith. I'm on the phone, not on video. I
Okay.
sent you a couple of emails and I'm not sure if you saw them. So I wanted to just share the information with the group.
Okay, if you send them to the standard Community Board 17, then yeah, I've seen them and I've passed them on to Miss Farrah Lewis's office, who has helped us to orchestrate, having sanitation here today. So
And it's about something else, but okay. Mm-hmm.
okay, well, the floor will be yours.
Okay.
Have a problem with the connection?
He's switching to his phone, he said, so just give him a few minutes, he asked.
Okay.
All right, Stephen Caruso. I'm calling in now.
All right, welcome back, Mr. Caruso.
Sorry about that.
It's no problem. So we had a couple hands up. Miss, any of you? I don't know if I'm saying your last name right. Sorry if I'm not. But I see you have a hand up.
Yes, Carol, bienvenue again.
Yeah,
Mr. Caruso, the bus stops on Utica and Church Avenues, going both ways. I've been in New York for a while now, but the bus stop, they have select stops and regular buses stop. Sometimes the regular bus stop is clean, but the select bus stop is not clean because there is a curve that the sanitation machine has to make, and they tend not to make that curve, meaning that the whole stop is not clean. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay. I understand what you're saying. I'm not familiar with that particular term. I mean, the way you're describing it, I believe that I have an idea of, what might be going on out there.
Mhm.
But if that is the case, is there a buildup of litter in the area?
Absolutely. Yes,
Wi-
yes. It's very dirty. You say, oh,
Okay.
this tap is clean, but what happened to this one? Didn't the machine get there yet? I don't understand. Yeah. So the whole stop, the
Okay.
complete stop is not clean.
So we might have to go in there and manually clean it then.
Maybe. Yeah. I'll appreciate that. That's my neck of the
All
woods.
right, Utica and Church. Got it.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Ms. McCain Brown, so you have a hand up?
Yes, my question goes back to what was asked about the vending. And I have also noticed vending probably at every corner, somebody's doing jerk or something. And it was said before, it's very dirty. I also have vending on my block where they sell clothes and everything else. And my concern, besides it not shouldn't be on a residential street, the hydrants are blocked and the street is blocked also because they come into the street. They also block the hydrant and the pathway. Now, is that a sanitation? It's kind of hard to catch them because it's usually in the summertime and it's on a Saturday or Sunday when the weather is really great. How do we deal with something like that?
Again, so yeah, we're responsible for the illegal vending. So I'm again, I don't claim to be an expert when it comes to vending enforcement because there are so many rules regarding it. So I don't want to give you information tonight that's not accurate. What I'd rather do is I'd rather you just send me the locations that you're seeing the vendors at that you want us to go on out there and investigate, and then we could do that and report back. Because again, I don't want to tell you what they can or they can't do, and I give you the wrong information. That's not my area of expertise.
Okay, so we send you the locations. Should I send it via the community board or directly to you?
The community board would need to send it.
Okay.
You can place as a resident or as a citizen, you could place it through one complaint and it'll go to the vending unit, but this is for all complaints. When something comes from the community board or from an elected official, an organization or an elected that represents a district, then it always helps us to allocate resources to the area. So if you could send it from the community board email and the community board wants us to go on out there and take a look, let's do it that way.
Yeah, I'll do that because I've reported it before and it seems that nothing was done. Thank you.
Brown, appreciate that. Let's see, I believe we had a. All right, doesn't look like there's any further hands. Mr. Caruso, did you have any more information that you were planning to share with us?
That was it. Just those two initiatives: the bin mandate, and then the change in the increase in fines for commercial establishments. Those are the two. Those are the main events for this fall.
Okay. With that said, appreciate
No.
No, we're not done. 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 I'm not ending it. But with that said, I just wanted to highlight the importance and the severity of, if you could look into the issue of the manpower being a cause as to why we tend to have so many areas that I guess they don't get it addressed frequently, or at all. There have been some horrific pictures of garbage just piling up and piling up and piling up. And it definitely does not seem like this is the kind of thing that happens in a span of a day or two or a few days. And it's crazy. And it's not like this in every community. And once again, when Mr. Chen came to our community board meeting several months ago, and I spoke to him directly, his response to me was that they don't have enough people available to enforce these areas or to enforce all areas of the community on a regular basis. And he said that we had to speak to our elected officials because, you know, it's all about contracts and getting more personnel. And that's what his suggestion was to me.
Yeah, so again, to that, I'd say that cleaning collection, that's obviously our main focus as the Department of Sanitation, but we absolutely do have an enforcement division, and we are out there enforcing the rules. And we are catching illegal dumpers, and if there are any particular areas, so you had mentioned that if there are issues going on out there, if you could give me the particular corridors, at least I could take a look and I could get you an explanation and tell you what we're seeing out there. You know, just from my experience out in the field, I can say that there are some parts of the city where we will service the litter baskets on the midnight to 8 shift, and by 9 o'clock a.m. they're overflowing with litter again because of abuse and misuse. So if you give me specific areas, I could really get you a better idea of what we're seeing is going on out there and how we could address the issues moving forward.
Does there need to be some sort of collaboration with PD in order to address these issues? I mean, to have somebody in the area or watching these areas, or I mean, what exactly would be the remedy to that?
As far as illegal dumping?
Well, as far as what you just said, you know, basically, you know, you'll go and you'll take care of it, and then, you know, within a day or something like that, it's been misused. And I mean, you know, something has to be done to eliminate this issue, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the fix is folks change their behavior, which is, you know, one of the challenges that we've had for forever, right? You know, I can't tell you why people would want to litter in their own neighborhood or take their household garbage and put it at a litter basket. Meanwhile, they could just put it out in front of their house for collection and we'll come and take it. But nonetheless, you know, unfortunately, at times, education doesn't always work, and enforcement might be the only other option. Sanitation does do that kind of enforcement. We can go out there, we could open up the bags, we could see if we find any like envelopes or shipping labels with information that we could use to identify who might be putting these bags and stuff in places that they shouldn't. And we could use that to issue them violations. I can't speak for PD. I don't necessarily know that this is something that they, you know, they have on their list of priorities, but I could say it's absolutely something that's on our list of priorities. And we are out there working. So if you want us to allocate some of our attention to a particular area, please just let me know.
All right, definitely will be and close in touch with you. I mean, there was another person that I was trying to relay these issues to, and it really was a very spotty communication, and not much was really accomplished through that person. But all right, you know, we'll be going directly to you in the future.
Yes, please.
All right. We have a board member that wanted to take the floor.
No, this is outside of, this is for our committee.
Oh, this has nothing to do with. Oh, okay, Mr. Cruz. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello?
Was there anyone else that had it? Hello?
Yeah, this is Eduardo Cameron.
Yes, hi, how you doing?
Not too bad. I have a question. First, on the trucks are going to be lifting up these containers. Is they going to be picking up sideways or from the back up? The reason why I ask this question, you know, our garbage is picked up in the alleyway, and there is not enough room, you know, the truck will really pass.
Yep. So this particular kind of collection with the official New York City bins for the residential dwellings 1 to 9 units, that's going to take place in the back of the truck. There's going to be a tipper on the back of the truck that'll dump it right into the hopper.
Okay.
Now, larger buildings, yeah, larger buildings is is something else. But as of right now, we're talking about the official New York City cans, 1 to 9 units. Those are going to be serviced with tippers on the back of the trucks.
So basically, what's going to happen is a sanitation worker is going to grab the garbage can and then allow the garbage can to be attached to the
Place in
garbage
the
truck,
back.
and then that's how it's going to get dumped. Is that right?
Yep, that's correct. The sanitation workers will take the cans, attach them to the apparatus on the back, which will then dump it into the back of the truck.
Does that
Okay,
answer
one
your
more
question?
question.
Okay. Okay.
That's concerning the sweeper. When we have a holiday, you know, the sweeper doesn't pass, not even the following day that it's supposed to pass. So like from last week, here on Troy Avenue, the sweeper haven't passed, you could say 2 weeks.
Could you any the cross streets for Mr. Caruso?
This is between Avenue D and Farragut.
Mr. Caruso, would you be
Avenue
able to look
D
into that?
and Farragut. I could look into it. Just to clarify, you're saying so after a holiday, we'll miss it that week, and then and then a lot of times we miss it the following week as well.
Exactly, like you know, last week on Thursday that was our pickup, you know, our sweeper, they didn't come because it was a holiday. Okay,
Right.
Monday to today, they didn't pass today. You know, so this is and the rest of the week, next Thursday, the holiday, so it's gonna be 2 weeks cleaning on my side.
Understood. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So that's not necessarily just that's not necessarily just missed collection due to the holiday. That's just general missed. Missed sweeping. That's not just for the holiday. That's just okay. So we're missing sweeps. All right, understood. I got it.
Okay.
I also wanted to thank you. Also, Mr. Cruz, I want to just bring to your attention that I was informed that there is a catch basin at Avenue D and 37th Street that needs attention. If someone could look into that.
That's DEP.
So it depends what the issue is. If it's litter on top of the catch basin, then we could go out there and we could clean it up. But if it's an issue with the actual underneath the top of it, then that's going to be DEP that needs to go in there and clean it up.
Okay. Well, if you could have someone look at it anyway, just to be sure, it could be that there's litter on it.
Yep, we could go on out there and take a look.
Ms. Kwashi, yes, you have a hand up?
Yes. And what happens when, I just want to bring to your attention, when the street cleaning is missed, especially on the two-way streets, and you have a corner house, the trash blows over to the other side of the street. And then I have someone a company come and clean my corner property. So when that street the street cleaner is missed on the other side of the street, I get all that trash by the end of the day. So it's like I never even cleaned my sidewalk by 3 o'clock. So it becomes a nuisance for me. And so I'm paying for something that I don't even get the satisfaction of at the end of the day. Because whatever I cleaned by 6 in the morning, it looked like I never did anything by 3 o'clock. So sanitation has to do a little bit better than arriving at 10:05 because the cars are already back and they did nothing as far as my services that I'm paying taxes for in this community. So I'm throwing it out there. Coming at 10:05 on Farragut Road serves no purpose when all the businesses on that commercial street put those cars back before 9:30. Okay? Someone needs to give the businesses a ticket if they're moving those cars back before 10 o'clock. And your supervisors need to stop being friendly with the businesses If it's not 10 o'clock that the cars are supposed to be back, then 10 o'clock it is. I understand everybody's trying to make a living, but 10 o'clock, that's the time they should be moving their cars back. Not 9:55, not 9:58, but 10 o'clock. And your truck should
Understood.
be
All right. So,
your truck should be there before 10 o'clock, not 10:05. Because I got pictures that I wrote Commissioner Tish with showing that your trucks got there at 10:05. Okay?
understood.
We need the community clean. And if your supervisors are driving by, okay, they should be coming out of their cars looking at the situation and not driving by saying they don't see anything. And that pisses me off. Thank you, Mr. Caruso.
Thank you, Mrs. Quashi.
Let's see, was there anyone else that had a question or a comment or statement to make to Mr. Caruso?
Pertaining to, this is Carol Bienvenu again, pertaining to the cars being double, who is responsible for that? Double parking, that's environmental?
I'm sorry, could you say that one more time?
Pertaining to the cars being double parked on Church Avenue and Utica, the taxi stands, the cars sometimes are double parked, triple parks. Who is responsible for that? I don't see any
That would,
enforcers.
probably traffic
So,
enforcement.
Traffic enforcement, yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so Mr. Caruso, in regards to the things that you said you were going to look into, the staffing, the water gauges or the water for the trucks, the bins that the residents are being forced to pay for, when do you think we might be able to get a response on those things? What's realistic?
Well, I mean, as far as the water gauges and the mechanical brooms, that's a suggestion. That's not something that we're going to be able to action, immediately. So I'll make the suggestion for that. As far as being, not happy with having to pay for the bins, I can get you a response on that. Not using water in the mechanical brooms, that's something that I'm just going to have to relay to the field and remind them that they're supposed to be using water. ASP enforcement, again, I have some of the locations written down here, but if the community board could send me a list of locations that you want to see the ASP compliance and the commercial corridor enforcement against some of these businesses, if you could send me that a list, then I can action it and then send it right back to you with what we found. That's probably the best way to go about doing this. As far as the manpower that you're saying that you had spoken to Jason Chen and he said it's a manpower issue, whatever you had spoken with Jason Chen about in the past is in the past. You and I are communicating now, so we really prefer that you come to me rather than anyone else at this point when we're talking about any type of policy questions or issues or need for information. As far as day-to-day routine service requests go, your district superintendent, he can handle those. And again, he is excellent. I'm sure he's going to be doing a great job working with the community board to address some of the issues that you're seeing out there. I can make an introduction as early as tomorrow. But keep in mind, it's effective if we have one or two people from the community board, like the district manager or the staff that are working there daily, communicate with him rather than a ton of people from the actual board itself.
Yeah,
it's just easier to keep all the information together and to give responses so that it doesn't get lost in the shuffle,
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So, all right. So I have some work to do. I'll work on this. Just if you can give me a week or so, because it's been very busy. We have a lot going on, especially this is the beginning of the week now. So, I don't want to tell you you'll have it by tomorrow, and that's not the truth.
Okay. Last question. In regards to our general board meetings, which happen the third Wednesday of every month, what is the likelihood of having someone from sanitation come to, to discuss these issues on a more regular basis? Like Mr. Chen, for example, he was able to come there a few, several months ago. But how can we have that be a more regular thing, or even to join these meetings?
So the truth is that we don't necessarily have the bandwidth to attend every community board meeting every month. And I'm going to tell you, we get a ton of requests, not just the community boards, from elected officials, civic associations. We're out there working with the schools. We're doing events with them as well. So I would say you could submit your request to me. We'll absolutely make sure that it makes it to the appropriate parties for approval. Although we might not be able to make every meeting, we may be able to get to some of the more important meetings. If there's something that needs to be discussed, any pertinent issues that need to be discussed immediately. So just bear with us. That I guess that's what I'm asking. But as of right now, I will say that our focus is to visit every community board to announce these new initiatives. We're in the process of doing that. So we're going to be doing that through the end of November, even into the beginning of December. So us coming out to a general meeting, especially after attending this meeting here tonight, unlikely that we're going to be able to make the November or even December. So maybe we could look into the beginning of next year.
All right, that's fair. I mean, as long as we can maybe do like a mix up of some of these meetings and maybe one or two, of the general board meetings, I think that would be sufficient.
Yeah, I'd say that that's fair. And we did give the community board the option for this tonight to announce these new initiatives if if they wanted to come out to the sanitation committee meeting, if they wanted to come out to the general meeting. I preferred to announce this at the sanitation committee meetings just because you saw all the questions that we got, and people needed clarification, and and that led into some other issues as well. So it becomes a productive conversation, whereas during a general meeting, it's nice that we get to make the announcement, but a lot of times we only have a few minutes to make that announcement because we're just a small part of the agenda. So that's why I prefer to come to the committee meetings to announce some of the more important things like we discussed here tonight.
Yeah, and then that's fine. That's fine. I mean, if we can at least have this will definitely go a long way.
Sure. And we're always a phone call or an email away. So just because we're not necessarily at the meeting doesn't mean that we're not there to communicate and to help. So by all means, please just let us know what you have going on out there, and we'll work together.
Sounds like a plan. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, and look forward to getting these streets clean.
And we have his email address, right?
Well, yeah, but the community board has it, I'm sure.
Can we share it?
Yeah, and I asked that we like for all communication to go through the district manager of the community board, because once we start having once we start having 10 people from this meeting tonight, and then the regular messages coming in, things get lost in the shuffle. That's our protocol. We deal with the district managers and the regular staff of the community boards just to keep everything organized, please.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No worries. I'll send it to my normal channels.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem.
All right. Again, I apologize that my computer decided to update as we were in the middle of this meeting. That I apologize for, but thank you so much for allowing me to join here tonight, everybody. Really means a lot to me. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. All right.
All right. Have a good night. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All righty. Thanks.
All right. Well, that was very productive. Very happy about that, and definitely looking forward to doing more of these in this way. But yes, one of the members wanted the floor.
Thank you, Michael. I just wanted to put out there that we are having I teamed up with two organizations where I went to their cleanup on the junction a couple of months ago. So we're having a cleanup this Sunday, October 27th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. I know it's a Sunday, but I have to do Sundays because I work during the week and on most Saturdays. So we're targeting Nostrand Avenue from March 10th to Cortelyou. So if anybody wants to come, everybody's welcome. I don't know how I would share the flyer, Michael. That's why I emailed you. I'm not sure how I would be able to send the flyer to
Oh,
the group.
yes,
You
yes,
guys
yes,
can
yes,
pop up
yes.
if you want. Yeah,
Okay.
you can pop up if you want.
Yeah, we can
I'm
definitely
sorry, what were
have
you saying?
um, someone from the office. They have all of the emails available to all the members, and they can submit that to them.
Okay, I just want to tell people, I'm like, it's in our community, and since we are focused, like, on sanitation, I just want to throw it out there. If you don't see the email, we're meeting in front of Chase Bank on Sunday morning. The Chase Bank is located at 1462 Nostrand Avenue. It's like Nostrand between Church and Erasmus. And my information's on the flyer. You can email, call, or just pop up.
And if you want, you could also right now just type it in the message so everyone can see it. That
I'm
information that
over
you
the
just want.
phone. That's the only
Oh,
thing. I'm over the
oh,
phone.
I see, I see, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, all right. So, you said it and we heard, so that'll be that'll be fine. And like I said, the office can definitely distribute the flyer for you.
So do I email it to you?
You can email it to the CB17. I mean, you already did that, so that's fine. I'll take care of it.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
No problem. No problem.
That was all.
Was there anyone else that wanted to say anything regarding?
Yes,
Yes.
Carol, bienvenue.
Yes, hi.
Mr. Hill, I wanted to thank you for giving us a face and a name to deal with the sanitation situation in our neighborhoods. I wanted to thank you for that because the last meeting was my first meeting, and I think that's good that we have a name and a face and somebody who can work with us to get this our communities clean on a regular basis. Not sporadically, but on a regular basis, as I see in other neighborhoods. So I thank you for that.
Well,
But
thank you very much.
I wanted to mention about what is it, the parking situation. So in last month, I saw somebody in uniform, and also this month, I saw the police stopping the taxi drivers who were parking at the bus stop. So I've seen people in uniforms compared to I've never not seen them ever at all. So I don't know whom you reach out to, but I do see a little bit of presence.
Well, that's good.
Yes, a little bit.
Well, yeah, I just want you guys to know, one, while I appreciate, showing that appreciation towards me, I appreciate that very much. This is a team effort here. We're all working together here to make this happen. And, it's just about basically just reaching out to the right people that's going to motivate sanitation to do their job. And we're all sitting here collectively to make this happen, and we're going to make it happen, and we're going to be on top of these people, and they're going to realize that they can't disregard us in the way that they've been doing, and we're going to hold them accountable.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So,
I
hi.
didn't understand his point about putting water in the machine. What was
Yeah,
so hard?
that was just nonsense. That was just nonsense. We're gonna let them know to make sure that basically, I just wanted him to hear that information, and then when we see that it's still an issue after we've informed them of it, then we're gonna go back and press on it. But I just wanted him to hear it so he can say that he's looking into it, and then when his efforts aren't going anywhere, then we're gonna press him on it.
Because the water is in the machine for the nighttime businesses. Okay?
Yeah.
They're there for, because I hear the machines at night and they all have water. So when they clean the commercial streets, that's when you have the water. But for the daytime residential streets, not a drop.
Yeah, so in the obviously the future now, if you could just take down those numbers of those sanitation trucks that you observe having this issue, so we can tell him directly, what the issue is or who's responsible for these issues, that'll definitely be helpful.
Oh, sure. But I give up my day job, you know?
No,
I
I
still
know. Listen, I know. I look, it's a shame, but this is what it is.
I gave up
Unfortunately.
my day job. I stopped paying attention to them. I have a life. I go
I
on
know.
vacation.
I know. It's crazy, but
No,
this is
there's
what.
other people. See, there's other people in the community, and they all depended on me. And I said, no, no, I'm not doing that anymore. They all are outside too, and
I
and
hear
and,
you.
I, and I'm just annoyed with the fact. Oh, I knew Miss Quashi was going to do it. Oh, I knew it
Well,
myself.
I know, but let's try to.
And I have the next meeting. It's the month of November. My birthday's on the 1st of November, and I take off the entire month. So you guys will not see me in November. You'll see me in December.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. So you will not see my cheerful little face the month of November. So
Well,
don't think anything is wrong. I'm having fun.
you've definitely earned it. That's for sure.
Thank you.
Um, Mr. Watson.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a slight problem where I live. We don't have alternate side of the street parking, but there's a lot of cars that come here and park, and they don't live here because they know that we don't have to move any cars. How can we get?
You're talking
How
about
can,
the cars that are parked on the curb that don't move? Is that
yeah,
what you mean?
yeah.
Well, that's a sanitation enforcement responsibility.
Because when I first moved here, I'm sorry, but when I first moved here, I used to see a lot of what you call those meter maids come through this block.
Yeah.
But now I don't see none. They're
Yeah,
like they're scarce.
yeah. There's two agencies that handle that sort of enforcement. It is the traffic enforcement agency and sanitation. They can both do the same function, which is write tickets. And I don't know if sanitation does towing, but traffic enforcement does towing. But at least both of them can give tickets. Um, on the days that you see that happening, you can reach out to traffic enforcement and tell them that and make a complaint with them for them to come and do it. But also, we could give those streets to Mr. Caruso and tell him to have his people pay closer attention to it. I mean, that's an option too.
Yeah, because right now it'll be so dirty. People can't. You see, like when people used to be here, you could move your car and you could sweep. But I like how they park their car there. You don't know when they're coming back for it.
So,
You know,
which
that,
street is
that,
this? Which street is this? And what's the cross street? Did you did you
that's
bring
on
this up
East
to
40.
Mr.
That's
Good.
East 49 between Foster and Farragut.
49. Okay, I'm gonna relay that information to Mr. Crusoe.
Thank you very much.
No problem. All right. Is there
Mr.
anyone else
Hale,
that?
was roll call done?
No, not yet. I was just about to get into that.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess at this point we'll do roll call. Michael Hill, present.
Leonie Logan present, having problems with the mic.
Okay, thank you. We heard you.
Carol Bienvenu present.
Thank you.
Monica McCain Brown, committee member, present.
Thank you.
Davis
Eduardo
Smith.
Cameron present.
I'm sorry, could you say it one more time?
Eduardo Cameron present.
Thank you.
Davis Smith, committee member, present.
Thank you.
Frederick Watson, community member.
Thank you. All right, I believe that's everyone. Well, guys, we made it to the end of the hour. Time period here. Very productive, very happy about this, and looking forward to having many more just like this. Appreciate everyone's feedback, and if when we're out there once again, if we can just take notes of the streets, the cross streets, the addresses, if we could do that so we could get this information to them, they can't say they don't know. So that definitely be very much appreciated. Was there anything else that anyone else needed to say? Anything? All right. Well, with that said, will there be a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Eduardo Cameron make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
With a second on that motion.
Vanessa Quashi seconds it.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much once again. Hope you guys have a great evening, and see you at the next meeting.
Have a good
All
one.
right.
All right, good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.